welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a profoundly transformative concept from spiritual texts, the 5 precepts from the Master. Now, you might be hearing the word precepts and thinking, okay, here comes a list of strict, boring religious rules. But the source material actually presents them as something much, much deeper. They aren't just rules, they're profound, cosmic tools designed for a very specific purpose, escaping the endless cycle of suffering.
So, let's start with a really heavy question. Is it better to live or to die? The texts present us with this universal human dilemma. Think about it. If living is so amazing, why do so many people suffer? But if dying is better, why are we all so terrified of it? This paradox hooks right into the core problem of human existence, the inescapable cycle of suffering, and honestly, our utter lack of control over our own birth and death.
The Masters tell us that ordinary human logic just isn't going to solve a problem this massive. The ultimate solution actually requires genuine spiritual purity. The texts make it incredibly clear that to solve the riddle of life and death, you have to engage in serious spiritual cultivation. And it literally all starts right here, with cultivating a pure heart.
To get there, the texts lay out a cosmic roadmap for us. We'll briefly walk through the cycle of rebirth, establish the foundation of the precepts, examine the karma of killing and the importance of truth and clear minds, then we'll uncover the cosmic connections behind these laws before finally returning to the origin.
All right, let's jump into Section 1, the cycle of rebirth, and understand exactly what samsara is.
There's this wild ancient saying highlighted in the text. Humans fear death, but ghosts fear birth. Really let that sink in. As humans, we absolutely dread the end of our lives. But from an enlightened spiritual view, being born back into the physical world, into a body that inevitably gets sick, ages, and suffers, is the actual tragedy. The real fear shouldn't be leaving this world, it should be being forced to return to it.
And that endless loop of returning, that's what we call samsara. Basically, because we lose touch with our original, pure nature thanks to earthly desires and ignorance, we generate karma. It's this karma that acts like a magnet, forcing our spiritual essence to reincarnate continuously across different realms. It's just a relentless treadmill of birth, aging, sickness, and death.
So, how do we break out? Let's move to Section 2, the foundation of the precepts, which is all about breaking that lock.
The Masters give us a very specific, non-negotiable sequence. Step 1 is observing the precepts, Step 2 is attaining meditation, and Step 3 is awakening wisdom. Notice what has to come first. The precepts act as the absolute bedrock. You cannot just skip ahead to deep meditation or profound wisdom if your everyday actions are still out there generating heavy, negative karma. You have to build the foundation first.
What I love about the source text here is how incredibly practical it is. It openly notes that in our modern era, most people have shallow roots of wisdom. Instant enlightenment just isn't on the menu for the vast majority of us. Our minds are way too easily distracted, so we can't rely solely on our own internal compass. That's exactly why the 5 precepts serve as our ultimate teacher. They are the strict, practical guardrails keeping us safely on the path. Let's look closely at one of those major guardrails in Section 3, the karma of killing. In the texts, this is considered the absolute heaviest debt.
The texts offer this chilling warning. Quote, "One knife returns one knife. One life returns one life. 10,000 rebirths of endless debt." The assertion here is intense. Consuming the flesh of other living beings creates a devastating, inescapable karmic debt. The logic is that every life taken must be repaid, literally locking the soul into the cycle of rebirth just to settle the score.
But it's not all doom and gloom. The sources offer a highly positive action to counter this. Adopting a vegetarian diet is presented as a direct way to repair your spiritual health. Doing so cultivates deep compassion, significantly reduces earthly desires, and purifies the mind. By stepping away from the violence of the food chain, you're avoiding those massive karmic debts and actively aligning yourself with the pure, life-giving nature of heaven.
And the texts get super specific about how this applies to everyday life. For instance, during a birthday celebration, or crucially, during the 49 days of mourning after a loved one passes away, the Masters advise strict abstention from meat. Why? Because taking a life to celebrate your own, or serving meat at a funeral, actually attaches negative karma directly to the deceased, burdening their soul's journey. It's a really profound shift in perspective.
Shifting gears a bit, let's head into Section 4, Truth and Clear Minds. This is all about avoiding internal chaos.
Here, the focus shifts from the damage we do to others to the damage we inflict on ourselves. Breaking the precept against lying doesn't just ruin personal trust, it sows broad social chaos. And intoxication, whether that's from alcohol or other substances, actively clouds your original mind. The texts are blunt. It makes a person foolish, destroys spiritual clarity, and drags the soul right back down into ignorance.
The texts deliver this really stark reminder. Even if one attains spiritual powers, without removing killing, stealing, and lust, one will ultimately fall into the demonic realm. Essentially, having a high intellect, tons of charisma, or even supernatural abilities means absolutely nothing if you lack basic moral purity. Without the precepts grounding you, spiritual progression twists into something very dark.
Now, let's elevate things in Section 5, the cosmic connections, because this is where the framework gets truly fascinating.
The texts actually map out a deeply interconnected cosmic matrix. These precepts aren't just arbitrary rules invented by humans. For example, abstaining from killing aligns perfectly with the element of wood, the east, and the virtue of mercy. Avoiding intoxication maps directly to fire, the south, and propriety. It's this brilliant, interconnected matrix where every single moral action has a corresponding elemental and cosmic alignment.
So what this means is our individual morality is structural. The 5 precepts are universal laws. When you break a precept, you aren't just breaking a social rule. You are actively disrupting the elemental harmony of the cosmos itself. Your internal balance and the universe's balance are literally one and the same thing.
Which brings us to our final step, Section 6, returning to the origin. What is the ultimate reward for all this strict cultivation?
The ultimate goal is discovering your original self. The texts define this as a pure state of spiritual clarity and cosmic unity, entirely free from the turbulent pull of the 7 emotions and 6 earthly desires. By following the 5 precepts, you are essentially peeling back the layers of accumulated worldly habits to reveal the flawless, original nature you've had all along.
I absolutely love this metaphor from the texts. You say there is no moon, when in fact it is only hidden by clouds. Your pure original nature isn't lost. It hasn't been destroyed by your mistakes. It is merely obscured by the dense clouds of our daily desires, our greed, our anger, and our intoxication. The moon is always there, shining right behind it all.
To sum up the core message of these teachings, the 5 precepts act as the wind that clears away those clouds. By adhering to them, you finally allow your original spiritual light to shine through. And it is this very light, this return to complete purity, that acts as the only guaranteed mechanism to break the cycle of samsara and end the suffering of rebirth once and for all.
So I'll leave you with this thought to reflect on today. Take a good look at your own habits. What clouds of desire do you need to clear away today to let your original light shine? Thank you so much for exploring the profound depths of the 5 precepts with us in this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep seeking clarity.